It's hot. As I'm the slob, he's dripping from his mouth.
Whoa, watch the camera.
All right, we're gonna do the Friday end of week. Okay, Friday end of week walkthrough to show what we've accomplished this week. We've got walls in. Next week we're moving into mechanical stage, which is plumbing, electrical, HVAC. So we've got all of our walls in. Corey.
Ooh.
This is Corey's job right here. We can probably get to it on Monday. Look at that, right on camera. This is a bad contractor right here.
You know how many nails are in that thing?
Should be good.
Damn it.
It could be the glue popping.
Yeah, I mean, if you lay off the donuts.
Flush. Okay, it was just glue.
It's a major walkway. It needs to be right.
Yeah. So check for squeaks before you install that Cortec on that video we showed you. All right. So let's start with the first main issue of this house that we've been fighting this week. Back wall is pretty level and decently square. Okay. Front wall is out of plumb by 1.5 inches, which I can show you that right here. We have a wedge right here going up to greater than 1.5 inches because they didn't put plywood in between their old headers. So all the way up. So half, when the old rafters were put in, half of the rafters were decently on layout. The other half are off by like 2 inches. Well, our drywall guys are not gonna like that. Barry's not gonna like that. He's not gonna wanna cut every sheet at a diagonal. So we tried to go through and put these flat 2x6s right here, and they have a big screw in the top of them to pull them where we best possibly could, you know, within 3/8, I think is what we got it into, 3/8 of an inch.
Mostly, yeah.
So we fought that this week, but all that's good. All of our interior walls are plumb. This is the only thing that's not plumb is the existing exterior. So the drywall guy, if you're visualizing this, will cut square sheet over here from 1.5 inch taper, you know, sheets 4 foot tall, down to 1/2 inch or 5/8. That's just part of the old house. If we were to correct that in the door in our addition right there, you would have the existing wall out of plumb. I'm gonna exaggerate it with my hand. So this is out of plumb leaning out. If we put our wall perfectly level, it's gonna look like this, which, how do you put siding on 1.5 inches where it comes from flat to leaning out? Besides, you could possibly, I guess, put big tapered wedges down the side of the house. Just not practical. The door is going to want to fall open on its own and everything. I mean, that's our temp door and it stays wide open because we installed it correctly. And that's a temp, and it swings the wrong way. Crazy.
Hey, no judgment on which way things swing these days, but.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we try to stay in the middle of everything. Got our attic access over here in the mechanical room. Oh, so kitchen area is where the ladders are and everything. Hot water heaters in the middle of the kitchen. That's very common around here, I guess. Now, this used to be in a closet and everything. That used to be washer and dryer room, and if we showed you the before pictures, there's the gas range. So this wasn't a closet. It's gonna get moved right to this location in the mechanical room now, so that this is wide open. Fridge here, back of pantry, closet, I guess, here, and then another pantry on this side. Here we're walking into stackable washer dryer unit. Not much difficult framing over here. This wall again was very level. Everything inside was level, so it's easy to plumb and go from there. Now I'm walking into the mechanical room. We're gonna have the furnace sitting here. Right now the furnace is pretty much directly under our feet. And for somebody to have to go down in the crawl space, change out furnace filters, and check for any leaks on their AC or any of that stuff, or water lines. Your furnace has a drip line hose connected to it if you have a dehumidifier or a humidifier, whichever zone you're in. So that will all be accessible right here. I already labeled out gas for the furnace, gas for the hot water heater, and then there'll be a flex hose and a flex hose, and they'll just leave them stubbed out of the wall like so, with caps on them until after drywall stage. Then they'll put their flex hoses on and so on. So at least we have all that. The guys were super hot. It was 95 to 100 degrees all week long. They got up in the attic. We tried to do it best as possible in the mornings. Didn't always work out that way because we get busy doing other stuff. Today we accomplished the vault ceiling. We still have to frame out this wall right here and then frame out, or block, I guess, that wall over there for fire stop. The guys were wondering, here I'll grab a tape measure to point out some stuff. So, the guys are wondering today how we're gonna figure out what pitch this rafter is at, because we're not matching the top pitch, but how did we find out what we wanted? So, I needed to stay under the vent that's up there so that we could still let airflow go through the attic. So I came down off of that, and then we added a 2x4 over here because I added a 2x4 over here and so on. The guys will say I still messed up, which I did because I forgot that this is a 2x6 and this is just sitting on a 2x4 wall. Blah, 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 blah.
You never mess up.
Yeah. So it's Friday. Anyways, so we got 34.5 inches up, and it was 113 inches on this leg coming down. So into the construction calculator, you can do a rise of 34.5, a run of 113, and then you hit pitch on the contractor calculator that you can get at any Home Depot, wherever. And it literally tells you 16.85 degrees, or round that to 17 degrees. So we cut all these at 17 degrees. Because all you're doing is calculating this triangle right here. Just like basic math, 3rd grade is all we're doing. Okay, maybe it's 6th grade.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
Yeah, that one.
Maybe high school.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, algebra.
Okay, algebra, sure. What else did we get done? So all these rafters we got done this week, we framed this. Here, we dropped this. Actually, I'll show it over here for the reason why I did it. So, we don't have the fireplace room built yet because we don't have those specs from the homeowner. So the fireplace is going to be sitting 16 inches back right here, 16 inches back from here, which puts us right at this pencil line. So at the edge of the fireplace, it's going to start the vault. If I had, if the fireplace was sitting here where it's half on the flat, half on the vault, that would look funny, right? You're going to have a TV on it, all the different stuff. So we try to go for symmetrical, so I have 16 inches from this window, 16 inches from this window. That's the center of the fireplace. This is right on the edge of the fireplace unit, and then the whole vault will be in the fireplace unit. Reason for 2x6s and 2x4s and all that fun stuff. So, as you see, we have 2x6 exterior wall for insulation. But over here, they only had 2x4s. So we had to fur them all out to give us,
What's fur out mean?
pack out, like add an additional stud thickness to be able to fit more insulation in here.
Oh.
We could have gotten away with it, however, I didn't want to have all the spray foam cost and everything for this whole wall. But on the back wall, we're still going to have some spray foam. That's behind the couch, which is our great lunchtime relaxation. And then behind the whole kitchen wall, so 2x4. The reason they need to spray foam it is because you can get a much greater R value for your insulation versus just batt insulation can only get to an R15. So we will have to spray foam this wall and the bathroom wall and the closet wall. All the interior walls are fine. Trying to think of anything else that you guys would love to know. Gas meter in the house. This used to be the garage. We're standing in the garage. However, XL Energy is like 2 months out. They obviously need to hire more people. So we have this tent hanging here. We built the fireplace box and everything. The plumber came and stubbed it out the outside. So once they can come and move this meter to the outside, they just have to turn on that line instead of this line, and that will recharge the whole house. So we're planning ahead, but yet it's a big pain. We've got to keep working around it, and we're gonna have to move the hose over a little bit to frame our wall next week, so on. Floor for next week. So you talk to the homeowner. As a GC, you always want to ask questions way in advance, because the whole time we think it's hardwood floors, or we assume that it's this, or we assume it's that, or we assume Corey's wearing a purple shirt because, well, he's a Colorado Rockies fan. Well, I shouldn't assume that.
That's
even
what I
though
assumed.
It's Tulo.
I found it on the street, doesn't mean I'm a fan.
Yeah, so assuming is never good. So as a GC, this week, you ask the homeowner, hey, have you made a decision on your flooring? Yep, I want to go with Cortec flooring, like in such and such video that we did last time. I said, okay, well, you have 1x12 old pine floor laid at a 45-degree angle. Well, Cortec floor is like this thick and very flexible. And when it lays over top of this, you're gonna feel this, you're gonna feel some of these little nails sticking up and all this stuff. So what we decided to do is she's gonna save money on Cortec flooring compared to real hardwood floors. However, she's gonna spend more money in labor and this material, because what we did is we are laying 7/16 OSB ornated strand board over all the floor so that we can go through and it's perfectly flush to each other. The boards aren't going to rock or do anything. And we'll go through and, you know, pound staples still, or if there is a little spot, we'll hit it with a belt sander. I mean, it's got to go through drywall stage and all that kind of stuff anyway, so it's definitely going to get worked in the next couple of weeks. But that's the reason we're packing up the whole floor, which in the old house has hardwood floors underneath all the carpet, so our heights will still match over at those hardwood floor areas. So, because we're going to add, this is 1/2 inch, plus we're going to put the 1/4 to 3/8 material on top of this, which will give us that 3/4 that we're looking for. So, besides that, hope you guys have a good, safe weekend.
Stay tuned, subscribe, like the channel, please. Yeah. See you next week.